purpose of Che work is not just breaking poverty or planting churches, though both of those things are accomplished. The real goal of our work is a transformation in lives and communities that is as deep as the human heart and as broad as the whole range of the human experience in the world God made. Che empowers local people to do it for themselves by choosing their own people to be in charge, choosing their own priorities of what to change, choosing their own people to be trained to teach house to house, finding their own resources, and accomplishing their own goals when and where they choose. Local people own and manage their own plans. Che just teaches their teachers. Community Health Evangelism is a program that has been working in the two-thirds world for the past 3 decades. It consists of a series of short teaching modules. It is a means to present the gospel message and the practical steps that can be taken by a community to improve its physical life. It is implemented by volunteers, and it is intended to be embraced by the entire community.
We have also used Che in our own town, Boacheng in Kabwe, to bring about change, not only to me, issues of physical and spiritual. On the physical part, we have trained agriculture. We have done agriculture training. We invited the people from the state to come and train us in agriculture, and we have gone to teach others in the community. You can see where we've got a drought now in Zambia. But those who did the conservation way of agriculture, I can rest assure you that they've still got the maize when others are not the maize. So it has impacted to me very well, including some of my own church members in Kabwe.
Yeah. Community health evangelism first is got what we call the key concept, which are 8 key concepts. The first one, we talk about prevention. Prevention, we know that about 80-85% of diseases can be preventable or can be prevented. And so our main emphasis is on prevention rather than cure. That is the first key concept. And the second one is about training. Everyone who wants to be under a Che program has to go through training, Che training. We don't just pick people from anywhere without doing the training. So that's the second part. And the other thing is, people want to understand that it's volunteerism. Most of the Ches are volunteers. Let me say all the Ches are volunteers. They volunteer their time to save somebody in the community. So volunteerism is also very important. And the other part is holistic approach to health. So Che intends to address all parts of a human person. It's physical, spiritual, social, emotion. Also, when we talk about holistic approach to health, we say the first person is Jesus Christ. That is very important. Yeah, so that's the third key concept. And the fourth one is transformation. When we talk about transformation, it's all about Jesus Christ. You know, transformation has to start from the inside out to receive Christ as your Lord and Savior. So we want to speak good news to the people so that we can bring Christ to people and people to Christ, so that people can see the love, can experience the love of God in the community. So that's why transformation is very cardinal and very important in the life of Che ministry. And the other part is, the fifth part is community ownership. Now community ownership, when we start Che program in the community, it's not about us, it's about the community. The community has to be fully involved in whatever is going to take place in that particular, for it to develop. So that's the fifth part. And the sixth part, it's we talk about sustainability. Now when you talk about sustainability, you're talking about you start a program and continue with the program. Okay, when you continue with the program, this program should not die. So when today you start your ministry, you don't stop. You continue until the end. So people have to have an understanding of that. And in sustainability, we are talking about the people have to have ownership of the program to support the program so that it can carry on and on. We only talk about the outside help when people have been grounded. And the other thing is appropriate technology. Now, appropriate technology, we say we use the local available resources. That is affordable, cheap, and easy to find. We don't want people to go out and start looking for something that is not there, or maybe to wait from the outsiders to come and give them what to give them. No, we want people to identify their own local resources because God has given us everything.
In about 2010, when I began my work as the Africa Area Coordinator, we had an experimental training of Che, learning the methodology of Che, and we had 15 PCUSA mission co-workers coming together to go through TOT, Training of Trainers 1 in Che. What our idea was to take a look as Presbyterians, knowing the needs of our partners, their desires, to see if Che would be a program that would be appropriate for PCUSA to offer as a possibility for partners to get training in. After going through this beginning training, we did decide it was a really good fit for a few reasons. One was that many of the programs that we were engaged in, it involved partners writing us proposals, us looking for money to fund them, important things that we wanted to continue doing. But also we knew that the communities had a lot of resources themselves, that sometimes we didn't have everything needed, but we knew that we could join them in the work that they had started. We also realized that the curative method of health work, of investing most of our time and resources in hospitals and clinics, was good and important, but that 80% of the people who walked into those hospitals and clinics had medical and health conditions that could have been prevented, had work been done in the communities in preventative health. So with those things in mind, as well as our understanding of holistic ministry, that people's spiritual needs and social needs are both important for the church to address, we found that community health evangelism was a program that fit our Reformed theology of mission, of our partners' needs to really be able to put together what their deepest needs were, and to look to their communities, to come together to meet them, and for us to join them in that. So it was a good fit for us. We're several years down the road. We now have Luta Garbat Welch on as doing more than half of her work in this area, and we feel like we're really getting some traction and very excited to see what God is doing. Thank you.
I was one of the mission co-workers that attended the initial TOT1 training. Actually, it was in Nairobi, and I was very, it really spoke to me. I thought it was a great approach, and when I went back to my home base in Zambia, I shared with the synod there about the program because it seemed to me that it was a really, really strong fit for the Church of Central Africa Presbyterian Synod of Zambia, because of the limited resources that the church has, but at the same time their very strong desire to evangelize and to serve through holistic ministry. So I presented the concept to them, and they were interested in it, and they decided to move forward with that. Thank you.
Maybe I would say that in 2010, we learned about Che from Mrs. Nancy J. Collins after attending a seminar or a workshop in Kenya. PCUSA, I think, organized that. Then we are told, explained as Synod office. Then we bought the idea. We thought it was a good thing, that Chair would start in CCAP Synod of Zambia. After buying the idea, we went to report it to the Synod. We had included Chair on the CCAP agenda. The Synod approved it, and the Synod said they wanted to see the person who is known as the Chair National Coordinator, Mr. Rav Mozuru, to come and present what Chair is all about. Then the concept was clear, the Synod appreciated, we were able now to launch Chair, Nyimba and Petauki.
Yeah, firstly, I would like to say I'm very much impressed by the impact that Chair program is having on women. Firstly, as you are aware, that here in Zambia, many cultures are still patriarchal, where the woman is the caretaker of the home and she is the one who does the home economics. Now, as I've seen that many more women who have been trained in Chair program have improved in terms of nutrition, the way they take care of the surroundings, the way they do their hygiene shows in their homes. It has really brought a lot of sanity in that it's going to help in the prevention of many more diseases.
At least there are changes in our homes. We've lessened the sicknesses like diarrhea, maybe some rashes on the bodies because the place is always clean. So there's no need of having rashes and diarrhea. So we are living happily. We've learned a lot through TOT1 and TOT2.
Okay, nchabwino at least paja pamwamba musunga bwino aini. Okay, tayamikira atandani zina. But Chair yamene i program itandiza yopunzisa vo sunga iyi.
Ndipunzisa bambe.
Okay. Tayamikira. Okay.
Amanda bafuna okwera muzikukula mu manyumba. So batitandizako bintu bambe itono ta. Bintu bone kabwe.
Tayamikira. Akani ka toilet. Ka toilet kaja kali plastic kuja. Okay, tayamikira. Akani ka so manje pamene mapanga kakantu akamumvera bwanje.
I'm very happy.
Tayamikira.
Coordinator for Chair, CCAP. I decided to accept this challenge because I have come to understand Chair as a holistic approach. It's a ministry, a holistic approach, to preaching the word of God to the community. And so I thought, looking at the concepts that Chair has, I felt it is a good idea that we should actually work together as a church so that we can work with the community to do the Chair programs.
Mobilizing local resources at the congregational level. First and foremost, there is ownership to the locals themselves. And so, because they participate in identifying the problems and also trying to find answers to the same problems using their God-given resources, which might be either human resource or natural resource which they have, at some point it creates independence in them.
Okay, personally I would say Chair has really helped me in the way that on the part of evangelism, and then as a family, if you as a family you meet, you talk about some of the resources we can use. We can't use this because it's expensive. Let's try this as our local thing. And then to other women, of course, when you talk about this, you teach them some would understand that really it's helping, but some would feel it's not helping. But what I feel is women's outside there are being helped when you teach them mostly about evangelism, because evangelism is the best thing out of all, because you talk of Christ, what Christ wants and what Christ doesn't want, and what we are supposed to do as Christians. We focus on that, because when people know more about what Christ wants and what Christ doesn't want, they would actually, personally I think, well, let me do what Christ wants.
So the CHE program is a model that integrates both the physical and the spiritual. And the physical is health, community health activities, and also development. And the spiritual is evangelism and discipleship. And oftentimes people have training in one or the other. And so to integrate the two seamlessly, the most effective way is to have people who are strong in each of the areas working together so that they complement each other. Because CHE that works is CHE that is integrated, where both evangelism and the spiritual and the physical have equal footing with each other.
The program to expand, in fact, to go to all the areas where CCAP is, or to go to the whole synod. And we were saying we can only do that if we have trained coordinator, and again train people train lecturers at CCAP, so that those who be trained in theology, they should also learn about CHE, which is a very good idea. It's a good concept of, that's the only way it can spread fast. Yeah, because these will be pastors in the congregation, and they'll be teaching their congregants new methodology of approaching life, approaching the whole human being in a holistic way. Yeah. So the vision is to expand it as fast as we could through the national coordinator, again through CCAP Theological College.
In mature CHE programs throughout the world, we consistently see people are taking responsibility for their own health and well-being. People have recovered their identity as made in the image of God and their vocation as stewards of creation. Believers are meeting together for fellowship, prayer, Bible study, and worship, and are sharing Christ with their neighbors in word and deed.